YouTube? This is Cheap Ass Statue Collector here, and today we are going to do a really cool review. We're going to go ahead and check out the Batman vs. Killer Croc diorama. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and kick it off with the things that we grade here on my site. The first thing I like to look at is the pose, and this statue already is going to get all A+. I'm just letting you guys know that. I love this statue. This is one of my favorite statues I wanted to review. It's not a new statue, but it's one of my favorite ones. Just because every time I look at it, I see something new about it. So the pose has Killer Croc kind of busting out of the sewer, and Batman coming down on him with his knee to his face. Killer Croc is grabbing him and then scratching his leg, and Batman has found a way to wrap his bat rope around his mouth and is pulling it tight. And he also found a way to get about 3 batarangs into Killer Croc. So the pose is legit. The only complaint that I would have with it would be that it's not a full Killer Croc, but it makes sense the way they did it. They made him look like he's coming out of the sewer, so that way they didn't have to do, a Killer Croc, a full Killer Croc and a full Batman. But with that said, I still give it an A+ because the way they pulled it off, the action pose is amazing. This is the comic book that I like to go ahead and put behind and display it behind the statue to give it more of more story of what's going on here. This is Batman 610 from the Batman series Hush with Jim Lee. So the paint gets the pose gets an A+. Let's go into the paint. The paint gets an A+ as well. Now, the paint details on this are pretty awesome. Let's go ahead and start with Killer Croc, because that's what stands out the most to me. On his belly, I don't know if you can see, but it's very glossy, kind of like a reptile's belly would be. And then on the top, it's more of a matte finish on Killer Croc. And he's different. He's a green color, but he's got different shades of green, especially around his mouth. And they did his eyes pretty good. His eyes are like a yellow color. And the paint is just amazing. Like, the paint job on Killer Croc is awesome. I don't know what else to say about it. Batman, you gotta do really hard to mess up Batman. He's just gray and black. His face has a lot of details. You can tell that he's mad. So you get all the wrinkles on the forehead and everything. And they didn't do a bad job on his teeth either. And what I like most is good faces, and they even put details underneath his cowl where his nose is, and you can't tell. You're not going to be able to see it on the camera either, unless you really look up close. So I like the detail they did on the face. I like the detail on Killer Croc's face and his mouth and inside his mouth. Yeah, it looks pretty legit. The only thing that probably could have done better was the blood on Killer Croc is matte, and the blood where the batarang hits him in the chest is a glossy red. They should have stuck with that. Either gonna paint it all matte or paint the blood all matte or make it all glossy looking. The base is a concrete base. They've got a lot of details and cracks, brown cracks in it. And you have a sewer cap that's like a brown and rusted color. So, and then of course his arm wraps are a different color as well. It's like a brown tan arm wrap color, which we're going to talk about that in the Sculpt detail. And the Sculpt detail gets an A+ as well, because like I said, every time I look at this statue, there's something new that I find, and I'm like, well, that's pretty cool. That's a lot of detail they put in there. I should probably note that this is the 2nd edition, not the 1st edition Batman vs. Killer Croc. And if I take a look underneath it, this is 1,190 out of 2,500. And this is what the bottom looks like. There's nothing really to it. So even if you get the 2nd edition, you're getting a limited edition a numbered edition. 2,500 is a lot, but it's still pretty cool. I had a chance to get the blue one at a really good price, around $300, which you can't get that on eBay. The blue one goes for a lot more. We'll talk about that a little bit later in the next category. But basically the details on the blue one, the difference were the cape, on the tips of his cape right here, come down more. So instead of them flaring out the way the black one does, on the dark blue cape, the first edition Batman is dark blue, not black, it droops a lot. Even so much that it will fit into a regular detolf shelf without having to adjust the shelf. Now, in order for this to fit into my detolf, I had to go ahead and lower the shelf and basically customize it and to get him to fit inside, because he wouldn't fit because of his cape and how it's sticking out. So back to the sculpt details. So what would you expect to be detailed on Batman? Well, obviously he's got the ripped body, his face is nicely done, his cape has a lot of ripples into it. Look at the back, it's got a lot of lines in it, a lot of curvature. His belt, it looks like the standard belt in the comic book, and he's got like a scratch mark on his leg, and you can see like the inner lining of the pants that he's wearing. And his boots are detailed as well. There's a lot of action going on in the boots, a lot of tread. And that's just with Batman. When you look at Killer Croc, there's just too many things to point out. The wraps themselves, I'm not sure if they're a different material and they somehow like molded it onto him, or it's the actual sculpt and they textured it somehow. But this, well, I think I could see the glue. I think they glued it on or somehow put something over it. I didn't see that before. Either way, it feels like wraps when you come and feel it, and it looks like a wrap, like a bandage wrap that you would put on. All the batarangs and the bat robe on Killer Croc, the paint job. He's fully textured in his lizard skin. Just looking for anything that I'm missing here, anything that's might be a negative. He's too detailed. And the base itself looks really cool. You got the Gotham sewer cap. It says Gotham on it, which is pretty awesome. So you're in Gotham City, you know that. And kind of like, and you have the debris coming off of out of the ground and everything, and it's all action pose like it's flying off the ground. I was gonna say kind of like the what's his name from Kotobukiya statue. I can't think of the guy's name or the statue. But you have little pieces, you know, stuck to them like they're flying off, and there's a real battle going on right here. This is one of my favorite diorama statues. This is actually the first one that I got, and then, you know, you buy one, you're like, well, there's a Superman one too. I gotta get that. Oh, there's a Flash. Oh, there's a Green Lantern versus Parallax. Okay. So most of my collection is dioramas, and I'm working my way. I think I'm short 3 to complete the DC diorama collection. I don't think I'm gonna finish up getting the Marvel dioramas. Maybe over time that'll change, but DC's the line that I'm trying to finish up on first. The price, let's get the price right now. This is in stock, so the second edition is in stock, and the price grade that I'm going to give is an A+, because you can get it for $250, which is standard price, and you can get it for less depending if you have coupons. I think if you go to bigbadtoystore.com, it's $250. That's not bad for this thing. This thing is, I don't know how tall this thing is. I think it's over 12 inches tall. I know that. So, and it's a big piece. It's a numbered piece. If you could grab it and you're a Batman fan and you want it, I've seen the blue one and I like the black one better. I know the blue one's first edition, but they did a really good job and cleaned up a lot of the issues that I've seen on the blue one on this one. So this gets an A+ because the price, you can't beat the price for this. It's a really good statue. It's one of my favorite statues. You don't have to assemble it. It comes like this right out of the box. So you don't have to worry about that at all. So this thing is worth the money. It's the pose, paint, and sculpt details are off the chain. You can see his belly button. So that is the grading review. Go ahead and stay tuned for the overview.